Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you my 4 favourite ways and my particular most favourite way of backing up your photos while you're travelling to make sure you don't lose all of those great memories. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Richard here, nice to see everybody again, and it's been a few weeks I'm afraid since the last video, but my hood is annoying me. But I have another short video here, it's only going to be a few minutes long, about the best ways that I've found that you can back up your photos while you're traveling. I'm going to save my favourite one till the end because it's a little bit more, not complex, but it's just the way I like to do it, so I'm going to build up to that. You'll see that in a second. So yeah, there's 4 ways, and the reason that you should back up your photos while traveling is for a few reasons. Obviously, if you've got photos in a couple of different places, if you lose something or God forbid something should get stolen, you will still have the photos that you've taken up to that point. And also, you never know what's going to happen. You know, you never know if you're going to get a corrupt card or something gets damaged or you drop something and it goes in a river or something, I don't know. But to have a backup separately to what you've actually got in your camera is always a good idea. So let's get into it. 4 things. Here is number 1. So number 1 is just good old-fashioned memory cards. Now there is a caveat to this. Your camera will need to have 2 memory cards to really make this work. What I tend to do is put, I have a smaller memory card, say, I mean this is only a 16, don't know if that's focusing or not, 16 gig memory card, which I very rarely use now. I do tend to use bigger memory cards generally because you can't really buy, I don't think you can buy the smaller ones, and the bigger ones are just as good a value anyway. But what I do is I have a really big memory card, say 256 gig in my second card slot, and then in the smaller card slot I have, in the first card slot I have smaller memory cards, which I've only got 128s now, but if you have a batch of 32s or something, that should be enough, because you could shoot, say you're away for 10 days, for example, you could shoot the first 2 days on the smaller memory card, take it out, put it somewhere safe in a bag, in a case, you know, with your passport, which you obviously look after. And then you've got that saved, you put another small memory card in, carry on shooting another 2 days, take that out and so on. So over those 10 days, you might use 5 memory cards, but should something happen to your camera or someone steals it or you lose it or it gets corrupted on the last day, for example, you will still have the first 8 days in your bag or in your travel bag, wherever you keep your valuables. So the caveat to this is it does need a camera with 2 memory cards. Card slot 1 is the small one that you switch out every 2 days. Card slot 2 is the bigger one that you can keep in there, and it just keeps adding to that through the holiday. So you will have one backup always in the camera, and then the second copy stored away safely. So that was number 1. We are now going to look at number 2. Okay, number 2 is the cloud. Now this isn't something that I do because I've always found that you don't know where you're going really. You don't know if you're going to have good Wi-Fi. How long is it going to take to back up 100, 200, 300 photos? I don't know how many people take these days. I mean, I took about 3,000 on my last long trip. That was about 20 days, so 150 photos a day. How long is it? 25 megabyte files. It's going to take a while, depending on your internet, to upload to the cloud. And while it's obviously really secured, it's probably the securest option of all these 4. It's also, I think, probably the most, I don't want to say unreliable, but it's not something you can plan for. You don't know where you're going to be. You don't know if you're going to have internet. Is a coffee shop good? You want to sit in a coffee shop for 2 hours while you're uploading 150, 25 megabyte files on a coffee shop Wi-Fi. So not one that I really do. And to get it there, it is a bit convoluted. You can put it onto your mobile device and then sit there and wait for that to upload, or you've got to carry a laptop or an iPad or something like that. You get them onto your storage, your cloud storage on your device, and then wait for that to sync. Not a favourite, maybe a possibility for those that don't take that many photos, but for me, it's not one that I've ever used, but I did want to sort of share that and make sure that it was an option for people if they were thinking of doing that. So that was number 2, and let's look at the third option. Okay, the third option is using your phone. Now, depending on the storage you have on your phone or an iPad, or if you carry a laptop, that's the obvious way, but not many people carry a laptop on holiday unless they're working as well or something, I guess, but I don't. iPad is the most I take. Now, you can send your photos to your mobile device remotely, wirelessly, if your camera does that. If it doesn't, you can get these little things which are really cheap. They're just SD card reader, which goes into the port on your phone. It's obviously, this one's designed for an Apple, but I would imagine they would have them for all sorts of different phones. And it basically then transfers the pictures from your card onto your phone. And you can use this like a portable hard drive. You can add it to, if you've got an iPhone, you can add it to your cloud storage, just without syncing. This is just storing it locally. Or you can add it to your photos, camera roll, anything like that. It will give you a second copy. And you will have the original copy still on the memory card. So there's your two copies. You keep this in your pocket. You keep your camera over there. Someone steals your camera, you still got this. Someone steals your phone, you still got your camera. If someone steals both, you're screwed. But let's hope that doesn't happen. So that's the third option. And again, not one that I really do, because although I think the 3,000 photos might take up about 60 gig, if I remember the calculations I did a few days ago. There is 60 gig on here, but it's only 100. I can't remember if it's 125 or 256. So you may not have the storage to do that. So that's not a solution if you take a lot of photos, but again, it may be a solution if you don't. So third one, mobile device, phone, iPad, whatever you carry with you, transfer them from the card to the mobile device using a simple card reader. Does not heavy, really small, easy. So this is the fourth one. This is one I'm going to do when we go on our big trip in the summer. We're going away for 20 days to the USA Rockies around Colorado, Wyoming, places like that. Yellowstone. We're going to Rocky Mountain National Park. So I know I'm going to take a lot of photos. I don't want to be using a Wi-Fi. I don't want to be chewing my phone up with all those photos. So I am carrying a couple of extra things for this, but it is going to give me 3 backups while I'm on the road. I'm going to have 2 card slots, so I've got 2 memory cards in there. I record the same photos to each card. So if I take 100 photos on day 1, that will go to card 1 and to card 2. So there's my 2 copies. Should one of those cards get corrupted, I'll have the other card anyway. But then what I'm also going to do, or I'm taking with me this is just a simple card reader, or like a USB hub, but it takes 2 USB ports, USB-A, USB-C, and USB-A, USB-C, and it takes a memory card, an SD card. So that goes into my iPad with a USB-C connector. In the memory card slot, I obviously put one of my memory cards from my camera. And in the other memory card slot, or in the other USB slot, is a small, very small. This is a 2 terabyte SanDisk. I've got the box here. Extreme. I don't know if that's focusing again. Hopefully it is. That is a Extreme portable SSD. So it's an SSD drive. So it's not a whirring device. It is a proper solid state drive, which is probably better for traveling. So it can get sort of knocked around in your bag a little bit more than one with a whirring disc on it can. And basically, when this and my memory card is plugged into here, this goes into my iPad. I will see, and I'm going to do a proper video on this because I think people might find it useful. You can then go into your files folder or your files app on your iPad, and you will see the SD card and the hard drive. And it is just a case of copying from the memory card onto the hard drive. So the pictures for day 1, at the end of the day, from memory card in here, copy from the memory card to the hard drive. So I've got a copy there, and I've also got 2 copies in my camera. Do that every day, and then by the end of the day, I'll have 20 days of photos on here. When I get back, I can just transfer them from here to my computer, which is over there. That's why I'm pointing over there. And that's it. I'm done. But while I'm traveling, I will have 3 copies at the end of every day. 2 memory cards and 1 on the hard drive. If you wanted to be super careful, you could then do this, the option 1 where I kept a small memory card and took that out. So that would be in a bag, plus 1 on the camera, plus 1 on my little portable hard drive. This wasn't expensive. This was only like £80, I think. And it's 2 terabyte. Look at the size of it. There's nothing to it. I mean, it's you know, it's like a centimetre thick if that, weighs nothing. Leave it in the suitcase, you know, wherever that may be, with my passport or something like that, somewhere safe. Camera's with me all the time generally. I feel pretty safe. I've never done this kind of backup before when I've been on holiday. I've never lost any photos while I've been on holiday. I've been taking photos while I've been on holiday for 13 years. And when I say taking photos, I mean really taking photos for 13 years. And I've never lost a memory card or anything, touch wood. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And perhaps I've been lucky and it's about to happen this year. So that's the method that I'm going to be using in the summer. So real quick, because I've written these down so I don't have to stutter and stumble around. The pros and cons. So the first method was memory cards. The pros is it's easy. You just have, you done it when you press the shutter, bang, bang, same picture, 2 cards, backup done. Take the first card out, put it in a bag, put another card in, do that for your holiday. You've got 2 backups, one in your camera, one in a bag somewhere with your passport. The cons of that is that you do need a camera with 2 card slots. So if you haven't got 2 card slots, this isn't going to be an option for you. You'll have to choose one of the other options that I'm going to quickly run through again now. Cloud backup, probably the most secure because it's up in the cloud. You know, if you get stolen, if your car with you not in it falls off a bridge, something happens, someone takes your bag, you know, you leave it somewhere. It doesn't have to be a sinister theft, but you could just lose something. You could just leave your camera on the side. It's all up in the cloud, so you don't have to worry about it other than the day that you're on now that you haven't synced yet. So you'll keep most of them in the cloud. The cons of that is obviously dependent on good Wi-Fi and how much time you have and things like that. If you're in a hotel for 2 weeks, in the same hotel for 2 weeks, you can leave it running overnight, every night, or you get free Wi-Fi and it's good Wi-Fi, not a problem. But if you're going from motel to motel or hotel to hotel like we're going to be doing on a road trip, seeing sites from 8 in the morning to late at night, you probably don't want to sit anywhere and wait for things to upload if you don't have decent Wi-Fi where you're staying. So I can just see myself getting the hassle with it for the first day and then not bothering again. So I don't want to rely on that option. Third option was mobile device. You transfer everything from your card onto your mobile device. The pro is that everyone has one. Let's be realistic. You know, I'm sure everyone doesn't, but most people do. This is a really good option if you've got a mobile device with loads and loads of storage space, but that is the downside. The storage space may be limited if you don't have a phone with a lot of storage space on it. Not an option on this one. My fourth and favourite is the portable hard drive. For me, it's going to be quick to copy over because I've tried it. It took a few seconds to copy over like 50 photos, so I know it's only going to take 5 minutes to copy over 200 photos, 300 photos if I have a busy day. And you have abundant space other than speed, 2 terabyte, you're going to get all your photos on there. The downside is you've got something else to carry and it's another expense. Like I said, it's not a big expense, £80. You can use it for all sorts of things. You don't have to just use it on holiday. You can use it at home. You could use it for transferring files around if you're working or something like that. So it will have many uses, I'm sure, not just sitting in a drawer for your next holiday. But it is that one-off outlay and it is additional piece of gear to carry, or 2 additional pieces of gear to carry, really. I mean, the other option you could probably do is plug this into your iPad, put them from your card onto your iPad, swap it over, take the card out, put this in, and then put it from your iPad to here if you didn't want to carry that. But for me, I'm just going to put them both in at the same time, just use the iPad as a conduit to get from one to the other. That's it. Ideally, I wanted to find a hard drive with an SD card reader, but I think they were really quite expensive, and I wasn't sure if it would be something I could get used to because there's maybe no display on it, stuff like that. I'm starting to waffle now, so I am going to finish here. 4 methods to back up your photos while you're on holiday or while you're traveling. If you found that useful, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and stay tuned because I'm going to do a couple of other videos on backing up and how I do this process. I can show you it in real life. I'm hoping to do that next week, so I promise it may not be 3 weeks between this video and the next one, as long as life is good to me, and it will be. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.